Alrighty. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. For real this time. Welcome to Mario RPG playthrough. The last two episodes. So it's just gonna look like one episode, but I said there were 14 episodes, and there are in fact, but we're gonna just watch them all together. Here is going to be the last hurrah. This is the end of our Mario RPG run through, and while it was not comprehensive, it is complete in terms of in the sense that we will in fact beat it. We will conquer the game. But for my third time, I think I beat it twice on the Super Nintendo, and then this is my quicker playthrough. Quicker in quotes. I mean, I don't know what the average playtime is on this. We got 14 episodes, roughly about an hour each. So I think that puts us at about, 14 hours. I feel like for an RPG, that's okay. It may not be amazing, but I don't think it's horrible. But I do think it was probably maybe okay. So I don't even know how much of the content is missing. I know there's like the Yoshi's run or whatever it is, the Yoshi racing. I know that's a part that I missed out on. I'm not sure how many other things I have missed out on. But let's just say that with the things I missed out on and the few tweaks that they've made that have made it, I think, a little bit easier, like the team dynamics, where you can do more damage as a team if you block enough. I think it's what it's based on, if I remember correctly. That's some firepower right there, Gino. Mario, that was sad. Okay. Mario's missed attempt was still stronger than Mallow's best effort, so not great. Yeah, so there we go. So we got a few points for making that, being able to guard against that, defend against that. There you go. There you go, Mario. Mario! Yeah, so I think between the missed content and the slightly easier, whoo boy howdy, that's a lot of hit points. I think we shaved off maybe 2 or 3 hours of playtime out of it, possibly. I would say maximum. So yeah, and if a noob like me, when it comes to RPGs, very much a noob. Most genres actually, I'm very much a noob. I think I've got enough background in first-person shooters and just basic platforming that I wouldn't consider myself a noob in those particular genres, but every other one, absolutely. Maybe RTSs. I'm not good at them, but I think I've logged enough hours in them that I can't really say I'm a noob. I'm just not great at the genre. I love it. It's a ton of fun. And if you put me up against the computer, I can sort out how to win, but against other people, I'm not so great. And do I have True Form Pin on Mallow? I guess I don't. Oh no, wait, that's just okay. Can we appreciate or point out the irony of an alarm clock putting people to sleep? Like, whose idea was it to make the alarm clock have sleep potion or sleep whatever? Thank you, Princess, for waking everybody up. He's a very spongy clock. Maybe that's why that's why he puts people to sleep. He's a broken clock. Don't know what he did there. And that's my problem with a lot of the RPGs. I'll see like my opponent is doing something, and if it doesn't make any sense to me, I just assumed it's nothing of consequence. And then I'm like, wait, why does he have full health again? It's like, oh, that was a fully revive thing that he did. I'm excited that he didn't actually kill me or hit me, so I'm not even thinking. Can't trust Mario. His true form pin, baby. That's right. Resistance to your meddling. I mean, of all the things, like, you could make it shoot out electricity or something. You can give it a mass effect or mass area. An area of effect spell, but I mean, sleep? Why? You're an alarm clock. It's antithetical. This is immersion breaking. Yes, we are. We are in the late game, the late stages, and I think this is even going to be. I think I think each part was only like 45 minutes long, so we're actually both episodes are only going to be the length of pretty much one episode. Cranking them off the assembly line. Pre-paint job. Definitely more menacing this way. If the background wasn't so like desaturated, it'd probably look even cooler. Okay, yeah. Apparently, without the paint job, they are just nowhere near as formidable as they were with their motley assortment of cloths. Okay, I say that, but then Mallow just bit it, so perhaps I was wrong. I wonder how people feel about so I could see there being an argument when it's RPGs. People saying like, look, I don't want the spells or the actions to take too long. Ugnip, good evening. Hello, sir. Hello, how are you? What are you up to? Have you gone back to Magic yet? Have you gone back to play since your last endeavor? And if so, where are you now? Are you platinum? Nice. Okay. So it's safe to say that it really is you, and you were the one, I believe, was it you? Yeah, I think it was you. Were advising to invest. Oh, and then the expansion came out this week, right? Or it's coming out this week. When is it? You're now bronze. Bronze 1. Okay. All right. Where do you start with bronze though, right? Or is there something before? It's like bronze. I know it's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, mystic, I think is the order. I thought bronze was the first level, which is fine because it's still higher than where I'm at, which is nowhere. I did get it downloaded though. I'm gonna get it kind of set up ish, so that Friday, when we kind of jump into it, I'm not just like literally trying to figure out everything. Bronze is the first. Okay, that makes sense. I guess dirt might be even lower. That's probably where I'm gonna start at. But is it growing on you? I mean, if you've gone back to it, because usually, I mean, at least with the reason I kept going with Tesla is because even though I didn't quite understand everything, it grabbed me. I was like, okay, I want to learn how to do this. Whereas like Hearthstone and a lot of other games, it was just kind of like, okay, you know, it wasn't compelling enough for me to keep going. So I'm guessing if you're still going, it is growing on you. Okay, excellent. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. That sounds promising. I mean, I mean, not all Tesla players are. Now I understand a tiny little bit. And today, all caps, it's gonna be big. They dropped. Is it the expansion? 12 new starter decks. Oh, hey! What? So are they like those decks that the packs that we could buy? They were like, I think 500 gold or something. It was 500 gold for the 50, and then 1,000, I think, for the 75, where like you get a legendary and they built a deck for you. Oh, they're free, no charge. What? Wow. Okay, so you could just, in theory, pick. Have you tried one of those decks yet? So in theory, you just pick that up and wow, they must have heard the Exodus is coming. They must have heard that there's a swarm of at least 2,000 people. who are going to be out of a home in a few months, and they're like, hey, let's entice them. Just entered. What were you? What have you been playing with? What kind of deck did you build? Just out of curiosity, like what's? It seems like at the cards as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, okay. There's got to be. I'm not saying there's a catch. There's got to be something though, because otherwise it would go the same fate as Tessel. Like if they're not making money. But you were saying, Ugnip, that it's worth paying $5 because it gets you like 5 packs of cards and a bunch of gems and. Like, really put you in a good place. It's a value to put you in a good position. I mean, I'm guessing you'd still say that even with the 12 new starter decks? Oh, okay. If you enter and read your mail, then you get all this too. Okay, so it's incentivizing, I guess, more interaction. So I remember that was the thing. Do you remember? Were you playing when Tessel and Twitch had a thing going on, where if you were watching Tessel on stream, they would give out, I think there were codes or something for packs of cards, for legendaries. So it was like trying to promote the game and then try to promote the streamers playing the game. And yes, I still think all that was a good start if you don't really want to spend much. They gave away tons. I got like 300 packs. Oh, okay. So you were there for that. You were there. Yep, from Twitch. Yeah. Yeah, I got on there late. I started watching Mad Oblivion. Probably, I think it was like 2 weeks before they stopped doing that. I got like one free pack. I was like, this is really cool. And they're like, oh man, but you should have seen. They used to give out, legendaries and multiple packs. And I was like, all right, well, I'm sure they'll continue. And then I was like, oh, we are now suspending our, like, we're no longer doing this. I'm like, son of a. Okay. Who did you watch? Who was your go-to? He had done that for quite some time at that point. Oh, you're talking Mad Oblivion? Yeah, he was probably one of the first ones, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's still probably going, right? When I left, he was like he had switched over to Slay the Spire, I think. Oh, you're watching Einie. Okay. I don't think I think I saw him in a tournament. But I don't know that I've never found him on Twitch. I'm trying to think. I didn't actually find too many people on Twitch. I didn't find Core Data until like way after he stopped being on Twitch. Oh, maybe what was her name? There was a gal from Germany. Oh wow, how am I forgetting her name? Like, I mean, you had Silverfuse. That was one gal, but she wasn't from Germany. Then, oh my gosh. How am I forgetting her name? Ah, well. But she used to stream on Twitch as well. She was pretty active in the community for a while. Matt is still going with lots of weird games. Not really watching him, but drop by some. Yeah, and that's when I found. That's when I. Oh, Stardew Valley. Wait, there's another one because I cannot think of her name. So I guess there were 3 then. Okay, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Like I said, she was pretty sure she was German. Jelly. That was her name, Jelly. Because I remember she actually used to sell that, I think. Or she had to. Oh, no, you're saying, okay, she's playing Stardew now. What is Stardew? Is that a card game even? Or is that just something else altogether? No, okay. Which I mean is understandable. I mean, but that's why I realized, like, when I would like do different material that wasn't Tessel and it didn't really grab people. I remember because I was like, I liked Matt. He was a cool guy, but I was really interested in the Tessel content. So when he stopped doing Tessel, I was kind of like, it just wasn't the same. It's like a recipe. You have a little bit of this mixed with a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and you've got, piqued interest. If you take one of those ingredients away, sometimes the recipe doesn't work for certain people, and so that was a cozy farm simulator with some other stuff. Oh, I mean, you know what? To me, I think of that as like the hardcore streamer going into retirement. you know, and I don't mean like retiring from streaming, but like you ground it out in Tesla. You fought against Invade. You put up the good fight. You took it as far as you could go, and now you're just stepping away from the competitive scene, just saying, you know what? I'm just a simple farmer. I can't do this anymore. Which I can kind of understand. The only thing that's going to help me with something like Magic the Gathering is the fact that I don't know. Like I'm almost always if I'm curious enough to learn something, I enjoy the learning process and I don't mind failing. I don't mind mistakes. My problem comes when I believe I've reached a level of efficiency or proficiency with something and I still make mistakes or I don't see progress. That's when I start to lose interest. So I think any game that I try after this is going to be like a fresh breath of fresh air because it's different. And I don't know all that, you know, we talked about it before. Okay, well maybe there's people that are playing, you know, these regurgitation decks that don't really understand how how worn out they are and how boring. Like that's going to be us. Like I'm relying on people like you and Dano and I can never remember the guy's name. Dad, never. But like, you know, to say, hey, by the way, that deck is considered toxic in this environment. But I'm guessing with the 12, maybe there'll be videos on it, like the 12, or maybe we'll do videos on it, the 12 new decks, and be, well, I wouldn't be able to say whether they're toxic or not, but. Sir Prook, oh, I love Sir Prook. He was a great dude, man. Yes. Oh wow. Okay, so you had quite a few. I didn't know Prook. He was. I found him on YouTube. I didn't know he did Twitch. But he was the. Well, one, he had videos of his cats, which to be fair, Justin Larson did as well. But he had a cat cam. Like you could check out his cat lounging in its little area thing, like the entire stream if you wanted to. But I think he would play janky decks and figure out how to make them good. I mean, he was the father, as far as I'm concerned, he was the father of the, well, so I think people twisted it to be what it is now, which is this abomination of goblins and some kind of control. But he was the first one to do like Scout, Banelord Scout, you know, where it was using Sheer Point, Banelord, and some curses as removal. I don't even know what his high end was. I don't remember what the end game was, but I remember he took it all the way to the tournament, and I think he ended up losing later on, just on bad draws. Really, he didn't find what he needed. But I mean, he came up with that. He did, was it the pants, whatever that pants combo is. And he pulled them off considerably, and he even made an anti-invade deck. I remember that, like he called it an anti-invade deck because even at that stage, he realized how ridiculous it was. Devil Signed or Devil Sinned? Devil Signed. I guess it was technically Devil Signed. I have heard of Devil Signed. Abel, I have not, or Abel, and Grand Math Gamer. I didn't remember him either. Indeed, he made a lot of fun decks, but he made him functional too. Like Justin seemed to have fun. He was a great player, but he seemed to have fun just making janky decks and being okay that they were janky, that they were only going to win 1 out of 20 times. Like it was just trying to pull off cool things. He had a fundamental appreciation of the game and was good at the game, but I think he maybe just didn't have it wasn't attention span. I don't want to sound like he's ADHD or anything, but like he just didn't. He had more fun playing offbeat stuff, even if it wasn't. And he made it as feasible as possible, but not really concerned about it being competitive. Where I think Prook actually kind of took that to the next level. It wasn't as much crazy stuff. Like he'd play Lich's Ascension, which I feel like Lich's Ascension was a Justin type deck. Just I'll play it. I may win 1 out of 10 games, and I'm okay with it because I just like playing the card. I like playing the deck. But then Sir Prook would take shenanigans and try to tailor them in a way that actually made them work, which I thought was cool. So a huge spectrum of stuff. Oh boy, Ugnip, a confession. And when you say it's going to be a confession, that makes it even more terrifying. So here we go. Lay it on me, Ugnip. I don't promise a judgment-free space. Yesterday. Okay. All right. So it happened in the past. So in theory. Oh no. Oh, this is not getting good. I mean, not that you thought something. I mean, that's fine, but... Oh, this game is pretty fun. Uh-huh. Was that it? You thought the game was fun? And the expansion is coming tomorrow. I want in. What? Wait, what's wrong with that? So I bought the pre-order. Oh! Uh-huh. Holy cow! Ugnip! For shame! I have not opened a single pack. Wait, so are you feeling guilty now? Or is your confession that you spent that money and you haven't bought a... And I deeply regret... this confession. Here, I now have a gazillion new cards for free. Oh, if you'd waited another day, one more day. Why? Oh, man. Well, yeah. Oh, so I chuckle, but not at your misfortune. I mean, that's my kind of luck right there. That's why I chuckle. Usually that's it. At least now I can play more decks for sure. Absolutely, and you can dust. Like, is it the same system with us where, with Tesla, where you can dust any card you want and get some money back for it, so that if you wanted to make a certain kind of deck, but you didn't have enough cards for it, you could do that. No. So. Dust here is super weird. Of course it is, because it's Magic the Gathering. Sorry, I shouldn't sound that salty, but that's the only right way. There's no other way to proceed this. It's not dust. But... Sorry, folks. If you're here to talk about Mario RPG, you're in the wrong stream. You get wild cards. What? By simply opening packs. Or winning. So what's the difference between a wild card and a pack? A wild card you can choose which one you want it to be? It's like, hey, pick an epic of your choice kind of thing? So like now I have 41 uncommon, 18 uncommon, wait, 14 rare and 5 mythic. So 41 uncommon. Okay, so I guess there's another thing in there instead of 18 uncommon. It's 41 uncommon. That sound. Oh no, wait, 41 common, 18 uncommon, right? 14 rare and 55 mythic, which I can use for crafting cards. Oh, you mean crafting decks? So like, wait, so white, blue, purple, and legend in that order. Okay. White, blue, purple, and legend. Okay. So that's similar-ish. One wild equals one card. But is it a card that you get to choose, or it's just a random card? I mean, do you choose? Okay, that's cool. Okay, that's. And can you choose any value, or it tells you choose one uncommon? Because who would choose anything but a legendary or a mythic? I mean, I guess if you really were trying to put certain cards together, or certain decks together, you might do that. But is it like, are they tiered wild cards, or is it just mythic equals legend? Okay, so 1 to 1. But I mean, when you get a wild card, can you do a legend if you want, or do you have to do an uncommon or rare? Like, is there a ceiling on what card you can pick, or it could be pretty much any card in the game? I feel bad. Like there's so many questions that are coming to my mind, and I'm like, dude, if you just play the game for like 30 minutes, you'll probably answer most of them. Like, when you open packs, are they random, or are they like you open a blue pack or a red pack or what have you? If I have mythic wild card, I can do legendary. Okay, so they do. The wild cards do come in tiers then. Okay. I didn't know if it was just, hey, you've got a wild card, so pick whatever card you want, or there might be a common wild card, and so you can pick any common card or uncommon card. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing you could probably pick anything less than a legendary if you get. And it's totally random when you open packs, I think. Okay. So 41 uncommon, 18 common. Okay, so Ugnip, is that so that's enough, though, that amount of cards, which is what? Roughly, say 60, 70, 75 cards, roughly. That's enough for you to put a competitive deck together in Magic? You normally get like 4 to 5 cards and a wild card. Okay. Which, I mean, that's Tesla, you get 6 cards in a pack, so... Wait, they don't even have a consistent number of cards in the packs? Or is it you're saying you get either 4 cards and a wild card, or you just get 5 cards in general? I feel like that part shouldn't be random. I mean, if you're going to buy a pack of cards, it should have a set number in there. Like, Tesla has 6, with any one of them being the possibility of being awesome. Okay, 4 and 2 wild cards. Okay, that works. It's always 6. Okay, all right, cool. I was gonna have to go in there and write them a strongly worded letter that they need to get their poop together. I don't remember a ninja in this game. Well, that's probably why, because he died like before I had a chance to even look at the guy. Also, it's 8. Oh, instead of 6. Wait. I don't think. Just open one to check. Okay. So, does the game never give you duplicate? If you can't get rid of cards at your leisure, do you just not ever have to worry about getting duplicates beyond? It's still 3 to a set, right? Like most cards. I mean, like I said, a lot of these are questions I could probably just play the game for a few minutes and find out. But I mean, figure while we're talking about it, it does have duplicator protection. Okay, all right. I mean that's fair. Still kind of sucks that you can't. You are. Well, I guess the wild cards kind of mitigate that. I was gonna say you're kind of at the whim of pack opening RNG. Like, even if you wanted to, you couldn't set out and build your own deck if you wanted to. Well, I guess no, because you still have gems, right? So you can still craft your own cards. You still earn currency to craft the card. You just can't dust existing cards in order to create other ones, which. I guess that's 4, I think. Also, you have a counter that goes up. So for each pack, you get 1 more counter. Oh, kind of like a buy 5, get 1 free? And when the counter's filled, you get a wild card. Oh, okay. So yeah, so it just seems like in every way, it's Tesla, but just a little more complicated. And not necessarily in a bad way. Like, complication can also be depth, or I mean, it's more factors. I'll put it that way. More factors, which if you can follow what's going on, more factors are fine because it keeps it interesting. First pack here gave me 7 cards and a rare wild card. Oh, nice. But now, can you save that wild card until you know the game better, or did you have to pick a wild card just on knowing nothing about anything, really? I think I read somewhere if you get over the max limit of 4, then you just win the game. You get wild cards. Oh, interesting. Huh, okay. And then it resets? Are you talking about the counter? I'm guessing it resets. Wild cards can be saved forever. Okay, nice. Okay, that's good. That's really nice. That's really nice. That's a good call on their part. So you can just hold on to it until you're like, oh, that's my baby right there. I want that card. I want that rare. Talking about the max limit of each card. Oh, the max limit. Oh, gotcha. Okay, if you. Okay, so instead of Tesla having 3, they get 4. Okay. So it doesn't remove those cards from circulation. It just replaces them with a wild card. If it would have brought that up, it gets converted to a wild card instead of an unusable and unburnable duplicate. Okay. I mean, that's any way they do it, as long as you're not just I mean, granted, in real life you run that risk. You could end up with 25 of one card. But it's nice that they. Oh, have you bought Optimus Prime yet? Did you buy Optimus Prime? Huh? Did you buy it? You need to buy Optimus Prime. All the cool kids are buying Optimus Prime. I swear I need to buy that card. Have not. No idea where it is. I was like, it seems. I mean, I'm honestly like, in the back of my mind, I'm having many nightmares about just getting in, just having nowhere to have no idea where to go, what to do. Just start clicking on stuff and see what ends up happening. But yeah, because apparently, like Dana was saying, you can have just like in real Magic the Gathering tournaments. There, like some decks are not allowed to be played in certain formats, and they can be played in others. So you're kind of, yeah, it's very strange. Not really looked for it either, though. Nah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know that I would either. I just think it's a novelty. I don't know that I'd ever play with it. It's cool to think of Optimus Prime as a Magic card, and the artwork looked pretty good. A lot of formats. I got tricked into the wrong one even. Oh no, how does that happen? Like there's no, cause isn't it it's determined by the cards you have, right? So like you don't say like this is the deck I want to play, and the game kind of says, well, here's the 3 tournaments that you're eligible for, or the games that you're eligible for based on the deck that you have. Arrakis gave me the deck code for what he played. Oh no. That's cool. Oh, so that's another thing too, that they have deck codes that you can just transfer those over. I'm guessing maybe that's for all, every CCG. But I thought it was a cool addition in Tesla. I didn't know. He forgot to mention that this was for an SMT called Explorer. An SMT, what does that stand for? Trying to think of what it could stand for. I think you told me, because before I was like, wait, is that smut? But of course that wouldn't be it, because that doesn't make sense for a family-friendly card game. It's a mode with a lot more card pool. I know you told me! I know you did, but it didn't stick. Which means you didn't tell me well enough. It's your fault. I would have remembered otherwise. Something. Ah, okay. See, yeah, no, it's my fault for not remembering. You can't even remember. You were the one with first-hand knowledge. And that's my fault. I see. Something. Yeah. Okay, but it's a mode with a lot more card. Is there a disadvantage to which one you want? Like I mean, would it be akin to, okay, I'm in a mode that doesn't allow invade, and I mean, I'm guessing obviously certain decks wouldn't be able to be played, but it's probably a much more broad thing. Tell you, Nintendo loves the T-Visor. Vile in Mega Man X has it. This fella has it. I feel like they've used that a lot ever since Boba Fett came out. It'd be easier to do the standard. I mean, that sounds pretty safe. It's like, start with standard. As the name implies, it should be more straightforward. And then if you're playing standard, you go, oh, it'd be really cool. And when he sent me the deck, I missed 49 cards. Wait, but you were able to get them then, right? Because you were... Oh, no, wait. You said he almost... No, you got tricked into the wrong one. So wait, did that mean that you crafted those cards and then ended up in a different... But I pushed craft and it was instantly crafted. What? Huh. Okay. Now, so wait. Is there a distinction between your... I somehow had a lot of wild cards from maybe last time I played. No idea. Okay, all right. So it sounds peculiar. It almost sounds like you have your collection and then you just have, like, I want to play this deck. And it's like, oh, well, here you go. Here's your deck. You don't have the cards. You can only play it in this one collection. I don't know. That's interesting. That's a lot of wild cards, though. Holy cow. 49 cards? Good gravy. But, I mean, I guess, if you get one per pack, roughly-ish, and you spent $3,000 on packs and stuff just now, apparently. If you have the wild cards for it, you instantly get it crafted. Ah, okay, there you go. I mean, to be fair, like I would want to do the same thing. Well, see, I'm trying to make you feel better. When I say $3,000, you're like, no, that's ridiculous. It wasn't $3,000. It was only $50. Only $50. Yeah, see, that's how I help you. I used to do that to my friends all the time. They'd be like, what time is it? And I knew they had class at like noon. So I'd be like, it's 12:10. They're like, oh my gosh, no. And I'm like, it's only 11:55. Like, why would you do that? I'm like, yeah, how relieved do you feel right now that it isn't actually 12 o'clock, like, or 12:10? Like, I've given you the joy of relief. You should be thanking me. And get your butt to class on time. But there you go. So yeah, I helped you out there. You're like, now you can just tell yourself, I didn't spend $3,000. I didn't even spend $1,000. I didn't even spend $100. I only spent $50. $50. That's pocket change for a lug nip. Shoot, man. Gosh, that's you can find that in the cushions of your couch. I mean, honestly, I will probably do the same thing if I mean, this is the bummer about it to a degree. Like, we know, I think, from how we all feel about Tesla and other games, it may not resonate with everybody. And so, I mean, it's possible it may not be my jam, per se. But if it is, then I want to contribute to it. You know, I feel like I did that with Tesla, but it was after they went into maintenance mode. Was when because I didn't have the money earlier. I had just moved. And I was trying to, encourage myself to do the grind. But yeah, I mean, I'm used to, I grew up in a time where you paid $50 for a video game. And so if I'm going to log nearly half as many hours as I log in Tesla, it's worth $50. So, I mean, I think you're just ahead of the curve. That's all. You're paying, like, the company is in good faith, giving you many options and many ways to play it for free. But as a grateful player, you say, hey, I'll pay you $55. Because, it was the $5 that you paid initially plus the $50. Or the $49.99. So it's $54.99 now that you spent on this game. Why don't you just spend $1,000? Just spend $1,000, get all the cards you want, and then it's all good. Then you just Anyway, the deck Arrakis sent me is containing 22 cards that are not allowed in standard. Oh! I've logged like 20 hours this week. That's a significant number, Ugnip. So I mean, suffice to say, I mean, it seems like it's more or less probably taking over whatever time you would have played in Legends. But the deck is very cool, though. Oh, the deck that Arrakis... Was that a deck that Arrakis specifically made, like custom made, or was that a deck that it was bequeathed to him or somebody told him? Or is he already far enough along in the game that he's creating nifty decks already, just having barely begun to play? Yeah, I played a few matches in Legend as well. Okay. Arrakis got it online. Okay, all right. Ooh, okay. Very, very... Well, I mean, I guess that's cool, because remember that was one of the cool things we liked about Tesla was people were willing to give out decks. They don't hoard them. Maybe attuned some. Okay. Okay, but you've got to know. I'm guessing they tell you up front that this deck, or like they'll say this deck cannot be played in standard because of these cards. Is there a penalty for not playing in standard? Like, I mean, did you take the game onto the ladder and did you win? I have started to attune it for myself though. Nope, it did not. Okay. No penalty. I guess it just means that there in theory there are some cards in there that might be overpowered, or because I know in actual Magic the Gathering, like they have different tournaments, and one of them is, I think it's called Classic or Legacy, and you can actually play cards like Black Lotus that is not allowed in pretty much any other type of competitive play. It's like a very specific tournament that allows that. So in theory, you only go into a tournament like that if you have OP cards that you can't play anywhere else. It would be stupid to play with a normal deck in a Legacy tournament, because you're going to be heavily outmatched. Besides probably being harder. Okay, so some of those are included in the deck I play now. If I get the 2 cards, instant win. Really? Oh man! Like, I've heard that. It'd be interesting to see it actually happen, because I've heard a lot of decks are like that. Or maybe maybe you told me and that's what I'm thinking of, but I feel like a lot of people, Dano said the same thing. He's like, yeah, there's a deck where you can win on turn 1 or turn 2. And I mean, I can't complain about that too much, because I don't mind losing to aggro decks in Legends. Like, if you can just get through me, that's fine. And I honestly, I don't feel like that's any, like, if you're up against an aggro deck that just draws perfect, it's got removal when it's got silence when it needs silence, it's got, you know, charge when it needs charge. It's no different than, you know, having 2 cards that are instant win, because it just prolongs the process. But it's essentially going, I've got everything I need to beat you in my hand right now, and it's all in the right order. So we can either go till turn 7 and I'll beat you, or you can concede by turn 3 when you realize that I've got a full board and you've got nothing. The one card is summon all creatures in your hand. They all have rush and trample. Is that like charge? Sounds like charge. How is that a card though? Is that only that? But that card that's one of the cards that you can't play in standard. Is that right? It is charge. Okay. Rush and trample. So wait, is that one phrase, rush and trample, or is rush a keyword and trample is another word? Does trample mean that goes through guards? How is that a card? Like that's something that Beatrice would come up with. I love you, Beatrice, but seriously, like some of the cards, it would be like, you get to do this and this and this and this, and it's like, oh, okay, man, that's maybe a little too much there, buddy. Maybe a little too powerful. So if I have a 12/12, like that one is, trample, all damage is going through the defender. Yep, okay. Hey, look at that. I'm getting it through context. And they have a 2/2 guy. I do 10 damage. Okay, yeah, so just like a guard, essentially. And that's breakthrough? Really? Sounds like that's the same principle. Okay, cool. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. Like, I guess that's us Tussle players have a little advantage. If you hadn't played any other like deck, we understand the words may be different, but we understand the concepts. Trample equals breakthrough, and I mean, which is what it sounds like. I mean, really, you say rush and trample, it's like, okay, that's charge and breakthrough, or ignore guard, I guess. But I guess it doesn't ignore guard; it just passes on the damage. There are no prophecies. Okay, yeah, and no dual lanes, right? It's everything is on the board at the same time. And if I'm not mistaken, it's you take turn, like you have your on your turn, you play defense, you play offense, or you defend, you do something, or you plant your land, you grow your land and your trees and your flowers, and then you frolic on the land, and then you defend the land, and then you attack the people that are trying to trample on your land, right? Something like that. Your opponent can play cards on your turn. Okay, and that's what I missed with. I think it was Beaters when one of the shouts he did. He said something like that, like you always go first, and I'm like, that's how it always works. Like, no, because like in Magic the Gathering, you can actually, your opponent can actually do stuff on your turn. So if you attack with your 3/3 guy and he has a 2/4 guy, oh wait, yeah, how does that work? He can automatically counterattack and kill you? Well, no, I guess it would be both would kill. Block probably, and you'll do 3 damage to it, and he has a 2/1 and turn. Oh, okay. Both go back. Okay. So you have a 3/1, and he has a 2/1. He has a 2/4. They can now attack. Okay. And you can't block because you're tapped because of the attack. Oh, interesting. So I guess Tesla's would be the same thing as like Iron Man football, American football, where you play both off and team defense. Whereas with Magic, it's unless you have keyword vigilance. I like that keyword. That's a cool keyword sounding. Do not tap. And I'm guessing the game, because it's digital, the game taps it for you, right? You don't. So, like, that's why I was thinking it might be easier than an actual physical game, because if you do that, if you make that attack, the game is automatically going to tap the card for you. You don't have to remember to do that yourself. It's going to tap it. You just have to remember that means you can't do anything with it the next turn. Cool. And do the card, they smack against each other like they do in Tesla, like to battle, or do they actually? You know what I would love to see is a card game that actually has like the art pop out of the card and actually fight. Like you see, like Razmadazzle would actually be this cat that comes at you with his little sword or whatever he has. And for some reason, I'm channeling Puss in Boots right now. I know that's not what Razm looks like, but I can't remember what he looks like. So, like you do that, and then you've got like the Farm Defender, throws his shield out, like, "Ah, come at me." They are going to battle, but not coming out. I mean, it was a pie in the sky. I mean, that would be graphically intensive and make each card take 3,000 years to fully animate and everything. It was just kind of cool. You just choose what or if you want to attack. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Ugnip. I mean, as much as so, there is that part of me that goes, okay, without prophecies, I wonder how you mitigate aggro, because that's really the only thing that keeps aggro in check a lot of the time. Not the only thing, but a lot of it is, if you get a prophecy, it can allow you to stabilize, whereas otherwise you wouldn't. That said, there are plenty of decks that are able to thwart aggro, especially with the right draw. So I guess ultimately I would say I think I don't mind losing prophecy, just because that's another RNG element. And the less RNG, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Also, flying keyword cannot be blocked unless you have one with flying or reach. Flying keyword cannot be blocked. Okay, so in other words, you'd be going over. Right there, you go over the blocks. You go over around it because you fly, unless you have one with flying or reach. Okay, so if you've got what was the word for block? Block, right? It's block, not guard. So if you have a blocker with reach and or flying. Block, yes. Okay. So you need a whole wow. So you can have. So you have ground-based attacks and aerial attacks. So you need. Oh, and multiple creatures can block the same attacker. Well, what would that? Is that like if they're attacking you with a 10 power creature, you'd throw your 2/2 and your 4/4 and your whatever in there to make sure that none of that damage got to. Well, if it doesn't have whatever, not breakthrough, if it doesn't have trample, what if you block it the first time? You don't then it has already attacked. It gets tapped and it can't attack again, right? So I have a 4/4 opponent. I have 2/2 and 2/2 all die. Okay. But what if you have a 4/4 and your opponent has a 2/2 blocker or block? If you attack it, you kill it, but none of that damage goes to face, right? And that attacker is now done and cannot attack. It can now be attacked, but it can no longer attack until the next. If I have a 3/4 opponent, the Opponent 3/4. Nothing to face. Okay. So I'm guessing the turns take longer, huh? Because you're not just determining like one card to play. You're actually 3/4 scenario. Both get 3/1. Right. Okay. Got following there. Oh, there's our big bad. There's Smithy. Kind of looks like a chromed out Santa Claus with, you know, jagged teeth and a crown. Next turn, both go back to 3/4. Oh, what? Wait, they heal? What in the lore justifies that? They heal to full. What? That's immersion breaking. What? You need a bullywog leg to heal. I know that for a fact. Or a pleated Kyrinth or Kirinth or whatever it's called. So death or nothing. Wow. So what's the, well, like, is there even a point to attack if you, is the reason why you attack because if your opponent wants to attack you, then you both die? Like, what, otherwise you just go, okay, well, I can't kill him, he can't kill me, so there's no point in even doing damage? You have another keyword, Death Touch. Oh my gosh. That seems very specific. No point of attacking indeed. Okay. Is Death Touch like lethal? I mean, it sounds exactly like it would be lethal. It's you hit and you kill. Death Touch equals lethal. There we go. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, I feel like I'm, you know. Hey, Jikaru! Probably why Magic has so many instant death cards. You can also lower stats. If toughness hits 0, they die even if it's a temporary stat loss. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, we have that in Tessel. Where you can, like, you can curse them, or you can put, like, a, you know, lay down arms or something. Well, that would be a taken away attack. But so you can cast a temporary effect that drops your opponent down to 0 or like 2, and then you can just, and then they just die. Okay, so goodness gracious, I almost would call you just Jik or Jiku, Jikuryu. Are you an avid either Magic the Gathering or Magic the Gathering Arena player? I mean, it sounds like it. I don't know how you could have that kind of knowledge about it and not be a player. Or you could say, I'm not a player, I just crush a lot, but that also wouldn't explain your knowledge of the game. He's probably way better than me. Well, to be fair, Ugnip, I mean, in the pecking order, we are definitely on the bottom as newcomers. I mean, you're better than I am, guaranteed. But I don't know. I mean, Ugnip, like, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's probably enough that transfers over from Tessel, just in terms of fundamentals, that I would guess you're probably better off than a lot of folks who would just be starting at cold turkey. But yeah, no, Jikuryu, it sounds like he's probably fabulous at it. We're all noobs, and yes, it is. Which is nice. Like, we may have lost the... Literally, we lost the game. We literally lost the game, but that doesn't mean all our experience and deck building and all of that kind of stuff is for naught, especially when we have so many keywords that are similar. We got Death Touch is lethal, Trample is breakthrough, Rush is charge. What's Drain? Well, what do they call that? Healing? Or yeah, I don't know what they would call it, but plenty of streamers call me some variation of Jik. I used to play a bit in high school, but the cost kept me out of real play. I just love the weird interactions. Yeah, that's what I heard, Jik. If that works, if you prefer, like, hey, my name is Jikuryu. As long as I'm saying it right, I don't mind. But I just feel like every time I do it, I feel like I'm stumbling around it, and I'm not saying it properly. Like Jikuryu is what it looks like, Jikuryu. And if that's right, then I'm good to go. But if you want to correct me, that's fine too. I like to say full names if I can. I see. Nice, by the way, Jick. Today, Magic dropped a ton of new beginner decks with the new expansion. Is that normal? Good question, Ugnip. Good question. Okay, I'm calling BS on that move from his hammer. Clearly, there is no spigot or spout for that laser to be coming out of. Or barrel. Because I got a gazillion cards out of my... Oh, not a gazillion. Look, Ugnip, if you didn't spend $3,000 on your expansion, you didn't get a gazillion cards. You may have got 100 or a couple hundred or something. You either got to go ham on the hyperbole or just or none at all. Busted. I cobbled together a couple of Japanese words when I left when I was 16, so I'd be happy with however you say it, but you've got it right. Okay, nice. Jikuryu. There we go. Hey, it gives my tongue something to do. It keeps me on my toes. I don't want to be lazy. My articulation has gotten bad enough in the past few years that I definitely want to articulate when I can. I just hope for your sake that in Japanese those cobbled together words don't equate something not as flattering. It's like I thought it was the word meaning fierce and bare, but it actually is gassy and naked. You know, bear being, you know, you can either be bear, like growl, or bear as in naked. I mean, I got all kinds of weird little... Oh, no, that's her. That's Princess doing some stuff. Look at you go, Peach. But yeah, so Jikuryu, do you play now that there is Magic the Gathering Arena? Are you familiar with that? Because that's what Ugnip is asking about, whether that's a normal thing in Arena. But I mean, I have heard that. I have heard a lot. Now, the gentleman who's going to be helping us out on Friday, I did reach out to him. He is going to jump into Discord, I think, with us. He's been playing for 15 years. Well, so is Baldrick. But and he's an expert on it. And he said, I asked him how much it would cost, like the minimum that it would cost to build a competitive deck in Magic the Gathering, and he was saying $6. But to be fair, maybe there's like 2 decks that can do that, and it's like, well, if you don't want to play those 2 decks over and over and over again, then you're gonna have to spend 20 or 30. But in theory, because all I've heard from folks is it's cost prohibitive, and it's not pay to win. But yeah, there's going to be cards that if they've been out for a little while, you're going to have to pay a premium to get them. You can't tournaments won't allow you to make your own, which I understand to a degree, but because it would look tacky if nothing else. But it's like the cards are not instant win; they shouldn't be. Although I'll be honest, Ugnip, your 2-card OTK it seems a bit ridiculous. Mitigated only by the fact that your opponent probably has one of those as well. It's time, space. Oh, time, space, and dragon, but there should only be one U, and I don't know if the grammar's correct either. Okay, well that translation sounds pretty dope. Time, space, dragon. Cool. I'm not sure culturally. So if it was an American word, I would tell you that you would know very quickly if it was not. If there was something grammatically wrong with it. I wonder if in Japanese culture, like if they would be inclined to tell you or just politely. I'm sure if you had a Japanese friend, they'd probably tell you for sure. He's doing a lot here. He's going to show us his power. He's going to have his revenge. He's going to kick the crap out of us. It was like 4 things Smithy said he's going to do here. And that's his true power right there. I mean, he's a little bit bigger, but he's a lot less formidable looking. He's a little more deranged, a little more... it looks more vulnerable, actually. He's missing his entire torso. Like, I don't know, Smithy. I think you took a step in the wrong direction. And if you... Oh, well, the star is what we're trying to get. I was going to say, the star looks ridiculous, Smithy, but that's the object of our desire. I have 12.9% of the cards in Standard Magic now. That's actually a lot. Wow, that's a lot, Ugnip. That's a ton. I mean, because there's what, like 20,000 cards or something ridiculous like that? Because Tesla had 3,000. I'm sure Magic the Gathering has exponentially more than that. I have met some insane decks, though. Yeah? Probably alright. Who would know? Exactly, Ugnip, exactly. Except for somebody in Japan, which... Yeah. I mean, there's so many cards that you can find most of what you want for a decent rate if you're willing to hunt and bargain. But if you want a stable of cards, who knows what that costs. Yeah. I haven't paid much attention to Magic for like a decade. Okay, so not as many cards in Standard. But yeah, time to come back, Jakuryu. I mean, I don't know how many ultimately are going to make the migration, but it seems like we've got quite a few folks who have already started phasing out of Tessel and into Arena. Is Explorer the one that allows more crazy cards to be played? I do like the idea of just coming across so many different kinds of decks. Like, I feel like a Tesla, if we broke it down for each attribute or each set of attributes, there's probably 2 or 3 viable versions. Altogether, I think there may be like 30 different decks, maybe, and only 10 to 15 of them are viable, which is why we're seeing. Oh no. Okay. Don't fail me now, Premier. I need you to get me through here, buddy. I mean, I'll admit, I love the idea of, like, card collections that are functional. Like, that's my beef with, like, football cards. I got a ton of football cards, you know, from my youth that I love them, but all I can do is pull them out once in a while and go, oh, these are really cool. Or I remember when I got this. This is really nice. But you can't do anything with them. Whereas, like, Magic, you can collect cards, but then also play in a game with them. So I do like that aspect of it. But getting into it decades later, I just feel like the physical version anyways is beyond my means. Reasonably beyond my means. And, I mean, it's exponentially easier, I think, to find people to play with online, i.e. in Arena, than it is to try to find them in real life without going to, like, an actual convention. Like, it's not just like all your friends are walking around with Magic decks in their pocket. Like, I guess that'd be like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something. It's like, hey man, how's it going? Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, you want a Magic? Yeah. Again, we're going to use nouns as verbs now because that's what you do. Do you want a Magic? Yeah, I do. Let's Magic. Bam. Although that would be kind of cool. Like you're in a McDonald's or something, and you're sitting there, and somebody else is sitting there. You're almost done with your burger. Like, hey, you Magic? Yeah, I'm Magic. Let's go. Okay. Bam, I win. What is going on? See, I don't know if that's the game recording. Okay, that's... Oh, that's right, that's right. No, I was, there was actually problems with the Switch. I remember that. I was like, what is going on? Why is it going to black all the time? That's not a problem with the recording setup, folks. That is when I was playing this on Switch, I was getting black screens randomly. So, yeah, but I think it goes away eventually. It doesn't make any less noise. The only saving grace is that I wasn't in a platforming game right now. It was just... I don't know what the heck was going on. It is unsettling, though. But if it was just the monitor or the playback, it wouldn't be glitching over in OBS as well. This is a bummer. I didn't realize it was doing this that much. Not a great selling point. Yeah, see, at this point, I'm like, okay, let's try putting it to sleep and maybe. Don't worry, folks. It's all under control. This is all part of a very poorly conceived stream where I didn't bother to check the video before I played it. And we're back. And I solved it. I got a new deck today called Prehistoric Squirrels. What can go wrong? What can go right? Oh, goodness. Oh, does this digital magic have slivers? I heard some really silly things about them. It does. If that is the card back. Is it? Oh no, or is that like a tribe of like goblins or something? Prehistoric squirrels. I'm gonna say that I wonder if with the influx of just the amount of cards they have, the volume, like how many of them are cool. Like I gotta say, prehistoric squirrels, not as exciting to me. I you know, as ridiculous as it is, Optimus Prime. So it kind of intrigues me. Prehistoric squirrels sounds gimpy, prehistorically gimpy. The slivers all have abilities that are like all slivers gain 1 attack. Or maybe they're like skeevers, Ugnip. Sounds like they're kind of... I can see if I can craft slivers. Don't have a single one. Stacks up to silliness. Well, that seems to be a trend. Jakuryu, like that there are a lot of decks that stack, build, or exist in some form of silliness. Like Ugnip, what was the name of the deck that you were playing? But it's a card that's like summon all your creatures and they all have rush and trample. It's like, how is that a card? I mean, that's really when you need to get good at drawing. That's a bummer with us Tesla folks, like all the people that practiced, you know, prophecies, you know, and making prophecies go off. That's a skill it's just not going to translate because they don't have prophecies. So for all the people who are really good at triggering crucial last-minute prophecies, you know, you're kind of up a creek. But people who got good at drawing cards, who got good at RNGing, they're probably going to be in good shape. Slipper creatures you control have, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 token on it. And see how that could go bananas indeed. Ooh, yeah. And see, that's another good thing. I remember when I was playing Magic in real life with a friend who was actually teaching me how to play. All the tokens and stuff like that was just it was a lot to do. Like you had, I don't think they were special dice, but they were like all these little things you had to put on the cards or attach to them, or like you turn it sideways and then flip it on this end. And then, you know, like, oh, you've used a spell or you used a cast or something, so you put a thing here, and there's a static effect going on, so you put that here. And so it was like, I remember thinking, because I was, you know, I knew Tesla at the time, and I was like, this would be so much better as a CCG or as a digital card game, because then you don't have to worry about putting tokens on, taking them off, you know, keeping track with stuff. The game just does it for you. You know, so you can just focus on what's important, which is slaughtering your foes. Squirrels are usually token decks, right? Like create X 1/1 squirrel tokens. Okay, so instead of Imperials, you have squirrels. I mean, do the squirrels look badass? I gotta look at that. I'm curious now. Squirrels. No, they just look adorable. Okay, well. Okay, so you get Chatterfang, Squirrel General. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, look at this. Oh, wait. Wait, oh no. Look at this. Chatterfang, Squirrel General. I mean, if you're going to make a squirrel look badass, I guess that's the way to do it, but goodness gracious me. Goodness gracious me. And the thing is, that's not flavor text. That is a paragraph of how this card plays. I think that was the other thing that got me about Magic was like it's a lot of, you know, Tesla is like do 2 damage to a player, do a creature, deal 4 damage to an opponent. Like 1 or 2 lines. If you had they're like maybe, I don't know, 5 cards on all the Tesla that are a paragraph. This is like Forest Walk, Chapter 1. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, Chapter 2. Those tokens, plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, are created instead. Chapter 3. Some funky symbol, I don't know what it means. Probably a land thing. Sacrifice X squirrels. Like this is a formula. We're getting a freaking math from it. Target creature gets plus X over minus X until end of turn. Solve for Y. I don't know why. I'm getting inflamed. I'm getting infuriated. This is taking me back to math. I don't like doing maths. I hate mathematics. I mean, look, this is a squirrel. It's exactly what you think. It's a flying squirrel, yes, but it's a squirrel. I wonder if they're going to make a Peanut the Squirrel card. They should totally make a Peanut the Squirrel card. Rip Peanut. Squirrel Warlock? I mean, jeez. Why not, right? Why not? I'm picturing a prehistoric squirrel, like some kind of rodent tiger. That's what I was thinking, Jikiryu. I was like, okay, I'm thinking ridiculous. Maybe in Magic the Gathering, the squirrels are much more formidable and ferocious and terrifying. No, they're still tiny and they look like squirrels. They have different paint schemes. That is an enchantment, right? And no, you don't need to match. You don't need to do much math much. Well, and that's what I mean. That was the saving grace of it being online. I figure it's going to do that for you. It's just the amount of. Just anytime I look at a card and I see a paragraph, it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be. What is this one? It's another paragraph one. Chitter Spitter. Oh wow. So Denise is going to be squirrels 100%. Those are going to be her jam right there. But the Chitter Spitter is an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, okay, I guess that's one of the phases of your turn, you may sacrifice a token. If you do, put an acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. I told you about the counters. Squirrels you control get +1/+1 for each acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. And then with land stuff, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. So, you know, again, in the virtual game, it's going to do all that for you. You play it, and if you sacrifice a token, you put an acorn counter on Chitter. I don't know, boy howdy. If I play this, my opponents are going. I'm going to confuse them into submission. They're going to be like, "What are you doing, dude? Like, why aren't you maximizing your Chitter Spitter? You haven't put a single nut on the guy." And I'll be like, I don't know. So I open a new pack here, golden pack this time. No idea what that means, but it has 3 legendary creatures. Well, I guess that's your answer, Ugnip. That is what a golden pack is. 3 legendary creatures. Damn, good on you, man. Everything's turning up, Ugnip. Maybe when you spend $5,000 on the game, they feel obliged to send you a few golden packs, you know. But good stuff, man. Oh, that's just an effect. I thought we were at the end of the battle. I mean, this fight goes on for a long freaking time, in case you haven't noticed. In real life, you have this list of phases to every turn, half of which you don't even use except when a card needs them, but doesn't mention the phase, and interrupts happen in a specific stack order. Yeah, see, that's what I remember, and just going, this is just too complicated. But I wonder how complicated Legends would be if we tried to play it raw. Like if we try to play it in person with you know all the deal 4 damage to one card and 1 damage. Like how would you keep track of damage dealt in mass and stuff like that? I think Legends would be much harder playing it on a tabletop versus in the game. But yes, Magic does take more time. Yeah. Well, because you have more phases to it. You're not just I have this much Magicka, this I play with. It's almost like every turn is like a Nixox assassin. You play this card, play that card, triggers this card, then you play that card, and that allows you to play this card, and then you turn your land sideways, and then you mow your lawn, and then you pluck the weeds, and then you build a tower, and then you populate it with squirrels, and then you I don't know. I lost the plot after that. 7,000? Oh, right. Sorry, Ugnip. I said 5,000. I undercut you by $2,000. Yeah, 7,000. I'm glad you remember. Having nothing, of course, to do with the fact that that's actually the amount you spent on it. No, that was purely arbitrary, I'm sure. Purely arbitrary. Yeah, digital Magic is definitely the way to go, yeah. But the good news is, in theory, I'm guessing you can buy physical copies. Like, I would love to buy like actual physical cards of some of the decks I have, just to have them, just to sift through them. So I'm guessing if you can play it in the game, you can buy the physical copy of the card. Like let's say you have a deck that you go all the way with that gets you up to platinum triple or whatever it is, or mystic. And you're like I want to commemorate this deck, so then you pay to have the deck made. I did that when I played fantasy football. I won the championship. My first year playing, I won the championship. It's all luck. What are you going to do? And so I actually bought the football cards for each of the players that I had that won my championship season. So now I have like 14 cards or something that I can look at and be like, oh, I remember when you got me that touchdown that helped me win the game. 49ers defense. Yay. I played Magic in person 30. I didn't know you had a history with it, Yugnip. Okay, alright, so this is not as foreign to you as it will be for me and many others. Also, opponents have long timers, it seems. You can play cards on opponent's turn and vice versa. But not willy-nilly, right, Ugnip? It's like Jakuryu was saying, there's like a stacking order, so it's if they play something, a certain thing, and you have a certain card you can play, you just can't be like, ha, I play this card. Hurry your ass up. That's a spell. Hurry your ass up. It's all one word. Hurry your ass up. I cast hurry your ass up on my opponent. My opponent now has less than 25 minutes to play. I mean, it does sound like it would be, again, just because of the number of things you have to learn, it sounds like it would be... Now see, that kind of thing, I didn't do that much damage, but that kind of thing is what makes this game play a lot shorter. Take that, you floppy-gunned tank. Seriously, look at the ones just flopping around. That's a hazard right there. You can't fire a good bullet with it. Okay, see, my point... Oh, gosh. Yeah. There is a timer, though. It's not 25 minutes. Look, Ugnip, the theme of today is hyperbole. So, you spent $7,000 on the deck. You got a gazillion cards. And the timer is 25 minutes. But I mean, it sounds like you need that much time. Like, you've got a lot of things to do. Unless you don't have land, apparently. If you don't draw land or you don't have land, you really can't do anything. You just sit there and just, like, get ready to lose your game. Or you just, come on, 2-card OTK. Next golden pack, 2 legendaries. So I wonder if golden packs just mean at least 1 legendary? Do they sparkle and shine? Do they have premiums? Ugnip, do they have premiums in this game? I mean, not that I'd ever get far enough in it that I could afford to do that, or that it would make sense for me to do that, but I am curious anyway. Yeah, so maybe Golden Pack just means at least 1, but up to 6, 8 legendaries. In Legends, we used to call those God Packs. Although, yeah, it was very rare for you to get 2 legendaries in one. He doesn't kill me here, does he? I gotta think fast. Come on, Gino. Use that empty, wooden-headed head of yours. There you go, Peach. And I don't, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. That may not be a. She may not have that power in the actual in the Super Nintendo version. I don't remember there being a power that could resurrect. Because yeah, that was why I die like 2 or 3 times fighting this guy, because one of his attacks wipe out the whole party. I think they do at least. You can win or buy card art. Oh, cool! That's pretty nice. We finally got him, folks. We finally got him. With no hands. I beat him with the sheer power of my brain. While I was having a full conversation with you all, I was playing with one hand and only half of my brain, and I still beat this guy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for your crazy middlers. The weird thing is, well, there's a lot of weird things. There we go. Mario rocks. He does. He's the bestest plumber ever. If only all plumbers had such a diverse skill set. Granted, most of them would be the NBA if they could jump like he could, but still. Oh, wait. Weird, I got the card that was mentioned in login as banned in all formats. Really? All formats? There are cards that you can actually get in the collection that are banned and that you can't ever play. Is that right? Wow. And I mean, like, guess it needs to be adjusted. That's kind of scary. Like, you could have a deck built that's your bread and butter, and then they decide that one of the cards in your deck is, they don't nerf it, they or buff it, they just say you can't use it. That could have used some sound effects, like some kind of glowy effects, like sparkle glowy, and then all the characters going, oh, 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 oh. Oh. The glowing dandruff said goodbye to his friends before ascending back to the heavens, to the great scalp in the sky. Hey, Ronald, what's going on? Is Mario done? Yeah, I mean, this is the end of the game. I'm doing great, Ronald. How are you? Good to see you. I did not just beat this just now. This is a playthrough I did like 3 months ago, and I was like, instead of just doing commentary over the video by myself, how about I just do commentary on it as a stream? So, but it's good. I mean, I've been putting out videos for this series for the past 14 weeks or something. So this is kind of a nice thing. We finally got it done, and the video files were huge, so it'll be good to get those off the hard drive. I miss Gino. We all miss Gino, Ronald. We all do. Now we need to play this. It's been sitting. Oh, yeah, Ronald. Yeah. You know, especially you're talking about the remastered version, not necessarily the Super Nintendo. I think everybody in the world has beaten it at least once. But yeah, if you haven't played / beat the remaster, you need to do that. Like, whatever else you're doing, it's not as important as beating this game. You haven't? Well, Ugnip, I guess you got your marching orders for the next 14, 15 hours of your life. Put down Magic the Gathering. It's not what you need. This is the part I missed. I remember this from the Super Nintendo version, but I didn't find this. I didn't come across it during the playthrough. So we don't actually have that in the playthrough. This very bizarre pairing that we did see. But. I'm surprised they haven't brought Gino back in any of the sequels. Like, he's one of the only heroes, I think, that hasn't been brought back. Maybe they just think he was unique to this game. That's a cool shot, though. It very reminiscent of the ending for Donkey Kong Country 2, which I thought was awesome. I'd love to see a remastered Donkey Kong Country 2. That would look so beautiful. But like that very last sequence where it's Donkey and he's got Dixie on his shoulders, and he's got Diddy sitting next to him, he's got his arm around him, and you're seeing they're looking at the sunset as the K. Rool's ship is going off into the sunset, and you just hear that. It's a cool ending. It's a cool ending. Bowser's a hammer, bro. He's a hammer, bro. And he's angry. Yeah, the remaster. Yeah, you definitely need to play it there. No one. Yeah, it's a rite of passage, really, and a matter of taste. What a cast! What a cast! Come play with us, they say to Ugnip and Ronald. Jakuri, I'm sure you've beat this before. Oh wait, no, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, that's not the end. You're welcome, Mario. I did it for you. I did it for the kingdom. And they have a whole cool little credit sequence. That's pretty cool too, based on the work of the original development staff. So I think you get, and there you go. I think that's this is the credit sequence from Super Nintendo. Those are the original graphics you get to see. And there's Luigi, the poor little palette swap bastard who did not get featured in this game. I feel like that was Nintendo really saying he's just a palette swap, guys. He's not his own character. Technically, kind of, sort of, maybe, whatever, but not really. He would be redundant in this game because he's just Mario with green instead of red. But now you spoiled the ending. Don't need to. No, it's not about the destination. Look, there's a saying I just came up with. I don't know. Maybe some other people have said it, but I'm pretty sure I coined the phrase. And I haven't really figured out exactly how to word it, but it's something close to. It's not about the destination, but about the journey. And it means that it's not about the end game screen. It's not about the credits crawl. Credits crawl. It's about the journey. It's about the playing you do to get to the end. You know, sometimes the end is what you're all about. But I think for a game like this, it's about the journey. And I mean, you guys can quote me on that if you want. Just Schward. But yeah. So yeah, this is one of those games that you play for the experience, not just to say you beat it. Whereas Ninja Gaiden is a game you decidedly play to say, I beat it and I will never ever play it again. Castlevania, very similar. Contra, maybe a little less so, but similar vibe. And I'm guessing Battletoads will be that way as well. We've probably got 2 hours left on Kirby's Adventure. That's a game I'd play again. I like running around with Schwarz and lasers and UFOs and such, but it's a relatively fast game. I think might have come from the fact that it started off as its predecessor was a Game Boy game, and those games are, a little less robust than a regular Nintendo title. I don't know if they fleshed it out maybe as much, but it's still a lot of fun to play. Anywho. Yeah, Super Mario RPG is a good friggin' game. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. I see. I'm glad you see, Agnep. I'm glad you see. I'm dropping some knowledge. I'm broadening horizons. It's about jumping on that one toad in the beginning of the game to reach a single frog coin chest that's too high up and is locked out for the entire rest of the game. The journey. I don't think I found that one. The one toad in the beginning of the game to reach a single frog coin chest that's too high up and is locked out for the entire rest of the game. Yeah, I didn't find that one. There's a lot of stuff probably I missed in this game. I just got Denise's favorite card, a Rabo, the first Fang. Legendary cat avatar. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and summon a 1/1 white cat. Oh wow. Yeah, that is quintessential Denise. I mean, other than Shitter Spitter. I mean that is very her. Oh, here we go. Now we get some of the new stuff. But yeah, Chitter Spitter is definitely, just by its the wording alone is Denise. But that card sounds, yeah, because one of her favorite cards is the Snowy Saber Cat. So a 1/1 white cat plus. Now, are there any of the other? Is First Fang like a black cat? Because all her cats are black cats. I don't know if that was. I can't remember if that was intentional, or that's just. I think that's just the way it happened. All the cats she went to adopt were all black cats, but. That is very her. Weird Nintendo games. Agnep, when you think about it for more, like, if you ever have to explain Mario to somebody who's never played it before, it sounds freaking weird. Like, as you're talking about it, it just sounds, you're like, how did this become normalized in my brain? So, you're a plumber, you're in the Mushroom Kingdom? Yeah, it's a kingdom of mushroom people. But the princess, no, she's not a mushroom. She's actually, I think she's a human being. But yeah, she's a princess in the Mushroom Kingdom, and she has certain powers, but she gets abducted by a giant turtle. So yeah, you got turtles, and he turns all the mushroom people into bricks, right? So Mario ends up in this kingdom, and so he breaks the bricks. Yeah, shatters them into bits. I guess, yeah, he's killing all the mushroom people, but some of them have flowers. Right? Flowers. If you grab the flower, then you can shoot fire out of your mouth. Or you throw, it looks like it's coming out of your mouth, but you're actually throwing fireballs, right? And if you eat a mushroom, not the mushroom people, but if you eat mushrooms that may or may not be their offspring or a distant relation of some kind, if you eat certain mushrooms, you get bigger. And if you get bitten by another kind of mushroom that is called a Goomba, it's a mushroom, but it's a different kind of mushroom. If it bites you, you become smaller. And if a turtle bites you, you become smaller. No, it's a very slow-moving turtle. Most of them. Some of them have wings, but most of them are just very slow. And they just walk around. And if it bites you in the ass, you either die or you get small. And you're trying to rescue this human princess of this fungus kingdom from the giant turtle king. Aww. That was beautiful. I love this game. And the screen goes to black after that, so I'm just going to leave it there. But as we wrap up this shorter stream than usual. Only an hour and a half. I knew that because each episode was only 45 minutes, but I wanted to get this done so that so the series was done and we could move on with other things. Because when you can't play, it's good for talking, but let's see. They do sometimes have incentives for black cats at shelters. Really, Jakuryu? I mean, I guess there's enough superstition that some people would do that. I like, like the same people that we don't have a 13th floor. It just goes from 12 to 14, like that kind of thing. But I guess that would make sense. As I said, not played Nintendo since I had a big blue box Nintendo. Wait, big blue box. Are you talking about the Wii? I'm not the Wii. I'm sorry. The lunchbox, the GameCube, because that actually came in many different colors. It would have been, but I don't know about big. It would have been a blue box. Oh, N64 ish. Yeah, that's the. I mean, it was gray. The original was gray. It was about this big. Wasn't. So but it was pretty much. It was. I think the dimensions, looking at them next to each other, the N64 is pretty much the same size as a Super Nintendo, just turned sideways. Like the N64 is horizontally oriented. The Super Nintendo was vertically oriented. So, I think if you turn it around, they're about the same footprint. The GameCube is like twice as high, but about half as long. It was a cube. It was the one that came ahead of Wii. Yeah, the GameCube. Yeah, this one here. If I can pick it up. No, I can't. It is unfortunately tied down by the wires. But yeah, it's literally a cube, literally a box. And that's what came out right before the Wii. Well, and it's honestly one of my favorite systems. They had the Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 version on there, which I loved. It had Mario Sunshine, which I also loved. It had Soul Calibur 2 and 3, I think, at least 2, but it had Link as one of the characters in Soul Calibur. Smash Brothers Melee, I believe. It had F-Zero GFX or F-Zero GX, I think is what it was. It was like the last F-Zero game they made for the full console, which was a really cool game. Gosh, what else did they have? Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, arguably the best Paper Mario game out there. There's a lot of great stuff on the GameCube. And the discs were tiny. They were little tiny discs about this big. Made them very, very cool. They still kept the full-size cases, which I thought was bogus. But yeah, the games were tiny little discs. Mini discs. Which was just kind of a cool thing. It was the one that came ahead of Wii. Yep. Yeah, it was Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube, Wii U, Switch. And of course, arguably Wii and Wii U being some of the worst. I mean, I know the Wii sold pretty well, but it sold because a lot of non-gamers like the motion control stuff and the Wii Sports. But overall, unfortunately, that was their drought season. A lot of people weren't huge. I mean, honestly, 64 and GameCube were not the bestest. They have some pretty cool games, but they were not all that great as systems. Not compared to the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. And I think Switch is the first system since the Super Nintendo to really be hyper relevant. A lot of people grew up with. I mean, I love GameCube as a system, but I just know it wasn't all that popular because PlayStation 2 came out then, and PlayStation 2 you could play DVDs on it, and it was it was online, and GameCube didn't have any online functionality. It wasn't up to date. But as we see with the Switch, all the stuff that the bigger companies champion as the best thing aren't necessarily needed. The Wii was an avalanche of shovelware. Yeah, it was. But here's the crappy thing, Jikaru. It had some good games, but they suck with the motion controls. Donkey Kong Country Returns and I think also the Arctic one, whatever that one's called, the snow one, the cold one, whatever it is, Tropical Freeze. I think they both were. If nothing else, Donkey Kong Returns was on there. Punch Out, the updated version was awesome, but I'd love to get it in any other format. They had NBA Jam Tournament Edition or NBA Jam on there, and honestly, I don't mind that one because you could actually shoot by doing this. But I have it on the Xbox 360 because I wanted to just play with a freaking controller and not have to wave my arms around all the time. So the Wii didn't have a ton of great games, but it did have some notable titles that I would love to see ported out. And it was weird, like some games supported full screen or widescreen, some of them didn't. Like we're playing right now, we're doing not this moment, but we're playing through Metal Slug, and Metal Slug is full screen and looks great on full screen, but it's full screen. And then you have Tatsunoko versus Capcom, which is a widescreen game. So it was like some of them could handle the upgrade, some of them couldn't, and it was kind of weird, man. It was weird. I had PS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the Xbox versions. Oh my gosh. So you were the anything but Nintendo guy, Ugnip. I see. After you parted ways with the GameCube, you went all in on. Well, actually, no, because PS1 came out before the GameCube. PS1 was in line with N64, so you chose that one. 2, 3. I mean, two was a phenomenal system. I didn't own it until many years. I got the one that was really super tiny that actually had the flip up top, like a much cheaper version. After they'd had it out for like 25 years, they're like, oh, hey, here's a cheaper version for all you that are just now getting into it. And I got it, and I bought Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for it for a lot more than I should have. And then I sold it for about as much as I paid for it. And I sold the system eventually. A dalliance with the GameCube. Exactly right. Yeah, he's a flirtatious fling with the GameCube. He's like, no, I like my PlayStations. I like my Xboxes. I've just always been a Mario guy. So I just stuck with systems that like the franchises, Mario, Star Fox, Zelda, Metroid. Like there's just some series, Punch Out. I said F-Zero. Like they did, not all the consoles came out with releases for that, but a lot of them did. And like those were the games that I gravitated towards. I like the more, the goofier, platformier type things. We came, we saw, we never really looked back. And that's fair. That's fair. It's I mean, that's why it's great. We have this myriad of options. I wish there was more of a distinction between Xbox and PlayStation. Let me ask you, Agnip, why both? Why Xbox and PlayStation? I mean, I know each one had their own exclusives, but was it really were those few exclusives for either system enough to compel the different, like, buying them? Like it was like I must have Uncharted and I must have what is their big one that they had for Xbox? Well, Gears of War, I think it's Xbox, but the Halo, was that it? It was like, oh, there you go, because exclusives indeed. Halo, there you go. Okay. Gears, yep. Okay, good. I nailed the only two that I could come to mind. Okay, I mean, hey, and that speaks to the quality of those games. If you can get somebody to buy a more or less redundant system, or a system with similar specs and similar capabilities, for $300-$400 because of a few titles. Again, I'm not diminishing that, Ugnip. Like I said, the only reason I choose Nintendo is because it has all the titles that I want. But it's just weird. Like PlayStation, God of War, Red Dead. Oh, Red Dead's not on Xbox, huh? Okay, God of War and Red Dead. Not, but you have Uncharted though, right? You did. I think I thought I saw you mention that title. Maybe it wasn't. You didn't buy it for that, but you did have it. I have had pretty good PCs all the way. So, how many versions of Skyrim do you have? Do you have one for each system? Because I think most of the systems, except for PlayStation 1, maybe PlayStation 2, but it's been out for, I think, 3, 4, and 5. And then you said you had it for PC, or you've had PC. So I'm just curious, because a lot of people, they own multiple copies of Skyrim on multiple platforms. And yes, Uncharted was PS only. Yeah. That's why I got a PS3, I think it was, back in the day. And I think I did have the Xbox 360 at the time, but I wanted Uncharted. And yeah, that was the last PlayStation I bought. Yeah, I had 1, 2, and 3 at different points, typically several years after they'd come out because they weren't priorities. I got PlayStation 1 just so I could play Mega Man X 4, 5, and 6. Never had a Dreamcast though. I had friends that had a Dreamcast. I never had a Dreamcast, so I don't have a fondness for it that a lot of the people do. But it was considered Dreamcast was to game systems what Firefly was to sci-fi fans. It burned brightly, burned fast, gone too soon perhaps, but probably could have overstayed its welcome with another couple years. I had Skyrim on PC, VR one for PlayStation, I had it on Xbox. I knew it. One copy for each version. Never had Dreamcast either. I did have Commodore 64 though. Of course. Well, Ugnip, I think from what I understand, now here's an interesting thing though, Ugnip. You're in Norway. So apparently, like talking with Baldrick, like in Croatia, they had nothing. They were, there was no market in like that part of the country for, or that part of the world for Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, nothing. It wasn't like, so like he was a Commodore 64 guy by default because they didn't have the option for a lot of the game systems. So you just had to go heavier into PC gaming. So I guess I would say I was surprised until I realized you're in Norway, which is a magical land far away where you guys have awesome, just, it's an awesome looking country, and you're home of Nerd Forge, which I realized the other day. I was like, wait a minute, I know two people that live in the same country as Nerd Forge, who are really cool. They're engaged now, I think, but it's a guy and a gal that just do all kinds of nerdy builds and stuff, and it's fantastic. They're great craftsmen and painters and everything, but they're definitely Norwegian. I only got an Xbox for Killer Instinct. Wait. Oh, Killer Instinct 2, Ronald. I have that. I have an Xbox One. I do have Killer Instinct 2. And I guess 1 because they packaged it together. But did you get good at it, Ronald? Were you good at the game? I bought it and I was like, because I watched other people play, I was like, oh, this looks so fun. And I got online and like people were like getting pissed because I lost so badly. They're like, why am I wasting my time with you? I'm like, Fulgore should be awesome. I pushed the laser button. It didn't do it right. You hurt me. But I still think it's a cool game. I can't play it for squat, but I do like it. And I forgot that didn't come out for the PlayStation. It was an Xbox only. Norway was and still is a bit ahead of the time. Well, definitely, at least when it comes to, like computer stuff like Commodore 64 became a big deal over here for a lot of kids, but it took a while. You had parallel universes. You had those of us with consoles where Mario was king, and then you had, for at least growing up, and at the same time you had Commodore 64, which had a bunch of Zork like games, like push the arrow key and you go up. An orc swings a bucket at you. You kick the orc in the groin. Orc falls down on knees. Up. I'm kidding, of course. It wasn't that simplistic, but it was a completely different kind of games. We were having platformers and PCs were having other stuffs. And then I won it in a raffle, but chose that system because at the time I had a PlayStation already. Well, what a charmed life. I won it in a raffle, but chose that system because at the time I had a PlayStation. Okay, so yeah. Well, I've already got 65 systems. And yeah, but now we get another one. There's probably some poor sap over there who was dying to get it for his little boy. No, he didn't get it. Ronald gets all the game systems. We need to fill out our time with something besides shoveling snow, right? Well, you have I'm trying, honestly, man, I was trying to think of like some like generalized stereotypes of Norwegians. Shopping at IKEA. Even though that's a Swedish company, right? That's probably Swedish. Yeah, I think it's Swedish. But you have them over there. I know you do. So there we go. Misplaced stereotype. Does it really snow all that much over there? Like all the pictures that Jonas sent me were of like this beautiful green, lush countryside with big blue pools of lipid water. I don't know. I think I probably put too many words in there. Fun Dog. Hey, Fun Dog. What's going on? You got your own logo. That's pretty darn cool. It's not just Fun Dog. It is Fun Dog with the logo. But hello, welcome. Final Fantasy X. Okay, Final Fantasy 12 did not age well. How so, Fun Dog? I'm not countering that. I've never played it, so I don't know. I think I was watching a retrospective on it, and I think that was one of the ones that was mentioned as it just didn't have good characters. Like there's a Final Fantasy game sometime after 7 where it's like a bunch of like very moody characters, and they're all like trying to kill each other, and she's pissed off and slapping guys all the time, and they're bitching and moaning about stuff. And there was something that was like The story might have been serviceable, but the characters were just so abhorrent. I don't know if that's it or not. Replaced Commodore 64 with my awesome 486 SX 25 megahertz PC with 125 megabyte HT and 4 RAM. 4 megabytes of RAM, no doubt. Oh, no less. Oh my gosh, Ugnip. Wow. First of all, I'm impressed that you can remember those stats. Second of all, I think it's good for us to always remember just how tiny everything used to be. Floppy disks were what? Measured in kilobytes? Like 35 kilobyte was a 3.5 inch floppy. That is insane. That those were actually specs on a computer. That's the kind of thing you'd expect to find on a thumb drive. Somehow, like I would expect to see RAM, 4 megabytes of RAM on a memory stick, on a flash drive, than I would on a computer. That is crazy. Why does the game look like shit in today's standards? Which one? Why did Final Fantasy 12 not age well? I'm not sure why Final Fantasy looks like I said, I haven't played it, Fun Dog, unfortunately, so I don't really know why it looks bad. So you're talking about graphics, I guess, where I was thinking about, you meant we're talking about oh goodness. Well, I mean, to be fair, Final Fantasy 7 looks like crap too by today's standards. Like Final Fantasy, like in the polygon era did not age well. Nintendo 64, like Star Fox looks good because it's all geometrical shapes for the most part anyway. Like you're in an R-Wing fighter, which is essentially a glorified triangle, and everything you're fighting is kind of boxy because it's supposed to be. But I would say overall, the like PlayStation 1 and N64, nostalgia may get you somewhere, but in general, visually, they don't age very well. Because they were I've said it before, they were the Atari of 3D. Like, Nintendo took what Atari did and made it look good, and then even better. Genesis did the same thing, but Atari looks pretty rough. I mean, it was around at the same time Nintendo, but it looks really bad because it was the first forerunner into sprites. And it's the same thing with N64 and PlayStation 1. They were the first in on 3D. So I don't know why Final Fantasy 12 wouldn't age well, because that came out a long time afterward. But like Final Fantasy 7 looks horrible. I bought they have the adaptations or the whatever it is, the versions of them for Switch, and I fired them up really quick, and they look just as bad as they did back then. They don't look great. They still look ridiculously pixelated or just polygonal. How good are your video cables, Fun Dog? I used to have S-Video for my PS2, and the difference between that and VGA. Yes. Yep. Fun Dog, I did play it when it came out, not tried it after. Jonas is lying. Hang on a second. I missed something. If you have 20 minutes to spend on it, the Commodore 64 Tetris soundtrack is pretty banging. Is it not just the do 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 do? Is it just a better version of that, or is it a completely different sound? Because I'll be honest, that's not a bad sound. That's not a bad thing. I mean, the fact that that's the only music for that game is a little interesting, but yeah, that's I'll have to look that up just to see what the difference is. On LCD, it's awesome, but I suck at it. Which one, Ronald? Tetris or Final Fantasy 12? The graphics are blurry. IKEA is still here, of course. Jonas is lying, right? The graphics look a bit dated. Well, Final Fantasy 12, when did that come out? I mean, to be fair, like, Borderlands aged well because it's cell shaded and kind of cartoony looking. Otherwise, it would look like crap too. Release date. That was for PS2, I guess. Let's see. 2006. Well, that's why it looks like crap, man. 2006. It's old as dirt. That's why. I don't know. I don't know if there are any games that came out in 2006 that actually look good. I mean, heck, Borderlands came out in 2010 or 2008 at least, so that would be why. But yeah, but 100% Jikaru, yes. So unfortunately, well, wait, no. Yeah, so anything I'm playing on Switch obviously is full resolution, but right now, like any of my footage from Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, and even Wii, it looks a little less. Oh no, not Nintendo, because Nintendo didn't have S video, but all the other ones, they could look better, but the only way I can play them on the CRT TV and record them is to run them through, because I don't have a S video hub, so I have to run them all through composite cables, and so they don't look as good. If I were to run them with S video, the clarity and the image stability is so much better. So if I wanted to play them on this monitor here, I could get better recording quality. But for me, it's worth it to be able to play it on a CRT TV. You know, it's just funner for me that way. But I'm guessing Final Fantasy VII was on Xbox One. Whoa, Xbox One? Really? My Xbox One is that old? And it's on Switch? And PlayStation 4? Wait, what? How is it? Oh, they must have done a port of it for Switch and Xbox One, because yeah, it wasn't released originally for that. But yeah, I'm guessing it was PlayStation 2 was what most people played it on. I am playing the remastered version. It does not look good at all on a CRT. On an LCD. Oh yeah, no, it will look like crap on an LCD, Fun Dog. Pretty much all retro games will look like crap on an LCD. You have to run, if you have they have different versions of it, but like I have it's called a Retro Tink. Not a great name to be honest, but it upconverts signals from older systems and converts them to like a minimum HD resolution or something similar to it that makes it look okay on a monitor. If you don't have that, if you're not piping it through one of those, you're just getting, well, I think Nintendo was 260, but I'm pretty sure PlayStation 2 was 420 or something like that. And when you put that on a, heck man, you can put 1080 on an LCD and it doesn't look all that great sometimes. So yeah, I never get a system when they first come out. I always wait till they get good games and the prices go down. That's a good call. That's a good call, Ronald. And that was unofficially my modus operandi as well. I wasn't my choice, but usually that's, my parents didn't get it for me until it had been out for a while. And then I didn't buy it for myself until I'd been out for a while. But like I said, yeah. And especially nowadays with all the updates and things like that, I mean, yeah, you give it a year. You let it cook for a year, let them work all the kinks out, and they'll probably release like a new updated version or something that has better. Because I mean, the Switch, I didn't buy mine until a year ago, 2 years ago or something. And it was like they just came out with a version that it's got better battery life. It's got it's a slightly bigger screen, and it's OLED, and it's this and it's that. And it's like pretty much the same price as the original. But, you know, it just came out later. No, Final Fantasy 12 was not made for an LCD TV. It was made for CRT. Like all those old games were. And anything before 2000, well, okay, no, to be fair, 2006, because like 04, I was selling, like HD was just starting to come out. You did see some widescreen CRT TVs, like Sony had the Trinitron. They had a 34-inch widescreen, which looked amazing. Still some of the best images we had in the store at the time. But 2006, put it this way, if it's a full screen game, if it's a native resolution as a square, it's probably going to look like crap on an LCD. It was not made for an LCD. And that's a bare minimum. There are some widescreen games that don't look really good on an LCD, but definitely if it was a full screen game, which I think Final Fantasy 12 is, it's not going to look good without getting an update, I'm looking at the screen capture now. Yeah, it's unless you pipe it through something that upgrades the graphics on it, or upgrades the resolution artificially, it's going to look pretty rough. I forget why, but digital analog videos do not work right if you mix up the monitors. Well, I mean, most monitors don't even have, like, I'm curious, like, what are you playing? You're playing the HD remaster and it looks like crap. Like, there are $300 converters to make old VGA. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the Retro Tink, I think, was like $300. And for me, it made sense because that's the only way, like, otherwise, trying to, like, if I'm going to stream a Nintendo game or a Super, like, if I'm going to stream an older game system, you got to have something to make it look good. Otherwise, it just looks like a big muddled mess. So for me, it made sense. If you're just doing it for one game, it might be a little expensive. Final Fantasy 12 made for LCD? I wish. Was a true HD remaster. The upscaled graphics of Final Fantasy 12. Very upset about this, the graphics on the 12. Do you think I need to get a CRT filter? CRT filter? So, I mean, when I typically hear CRT filter, that's usually referring to like artificially make it look interlaced. Kind of we have the alternating. That's not going to make it look better. But I think you're talking about something else. Oh, wow. I'm reading this guy's massive rant on Steam. Looks like they used a lazy upscaler on textures and it's worse than if they hadn't bothered. Oh, so this isn't just the native, the game. This is, like you're saying, a true HD remaster. Okay. Well, did this just come out just like today? I have a TV, but sadly my TV is 720p. Well, then it should, in theory, it should look actually better on your 720 than it would on a full resolution. Like the closer you can get your TV to the native resolution of the game. Now, I'm not talking now remaster, like you're saying. If it was supposed to be an HD remaster, then yes, it should look great on an LCD. But it sounds like they actually screwed the pooch on it. But barring a remaster, the closer resolution you can get to what TVs had back in those days, the CRT, like when the game came out, what the predominant TV look was, the closer resolution you get to that, the better off it's going to look. But also Final Fantasy 12 default to 720p. Anyway, time to make some dinner later. All right, Ugnip, thanks for stopping by, my friend. Good to see you, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Bon appetit. I didn't get my PS5 until the second and a half year. Switch I got during start of COVID. Yeah, Ronald, I don't think you were alone on that, buddy. I think a lot of people picked up. What was it? What's that game that everybody played? Animal Crossing, I think. Tons of people got lost in that game, and I think maybe even picked up the Switch just for that. But yeah, I think I might have got mine around. No, it wasn't the start of COVID. I was probably that summer. I think I finally caved. I wasn't going to get one because I wasn't super excited about it necessarily, but what was my impetus for getting a Switch? It might have been, I don't know. I think when I saw how many like retro games there were, like how many remasters they were releasing, like collections and stuff, it would just seem like a smart idea. Because I know RPG remaster hadn't been announced at that point. Tears of the Kingdom wasn't. Breath of the Wild, I had that for the Wii U. I think I just realized I didn't. Because I think I had the virtual library on the Wii and the Wii U. I had a lot of games on those, and then I couldn't play them anymore. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know why I did it. But yeah, I was also late to the party in that regard. But PS5, then, well, how much was it when you got it? Because aren't they like $700 now? There's like an updated version for like $900, but I think the sticker price is like $700. That's just crazy. Cray. I can't do that. The Switch I think is $299. At least when I bought it. I was like, I can deal with $300. I mean, it's still expensive. Back in the day, it was $150, but that was before inflation. So, but okay. So apparently, there's some Final Fantasy 12 HD sucks. Maybe. Why Fantasy 12 is a bad game? No. HD remaster. See, okay, now there's somebody saying, oh, this is 11 months ago, saying Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age is an example of how a remaster should be. Zodiac Age. Are we talking about the same game? Okay, and they just released it. It looks like it's on Switch as well. Interesting. I'm not really sure, Fun Dog. Sorry, I'm unfamiliar with what's going on with Final Fantasy 12. I didn't even know they were making a remake of it, a remaster. I never played the original either. January 10th, 2022. Yeah, this is an old one. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm out of the loop on that a little. But I'm going to go ahead and duck out myself. Going to grab some lunch really quick. Going to, at 3 o'clock, start streaming I think it's our 4th episode of Final Fantasy. The original Final Fantasy, although admittedly not on the Nintendo. It's Final Fantasy, the Pixel remaster. And we'll be playing that, around 3 o'clock. Anywhere from 2 to 4 hours usually, maybe a little bit less, depending. If there's a lot of folks, good conversation. We'll keep it going for a while. If it's just kind of me all by myself, then I may just give it a couple hours and call it good. But I just wanted to get some of that playtime in, a nice chance to decompress and relax before jumping into some writing later on. But you don't need to know that. I'm yapping my brain off. Thank you so much for everybody for joining me. Fun Dog, it's nice to meet you. I'm sorry I don't have many good answers for you for Final Fantasy 12. Hopefully there's a resolution for it in some way, shape, or form. Ronald, it was good to see you. Ugnip, you're gone now, but not forgotten. And Jakuryu, again, good talking with you. And I will see you all